Hello, my impatients. It is I, Andrew the Android Koloski here. I am live and I'm ready to perform for all of you. How art thou? How art thou, my impatience? I hope thou art good. I hope thou art good. Some people ask for me to, while people are still joining, did I say good morning or good afternoon? It's good afternoon. It's 1 p.m. I hope I didn't make that big blunder. I hope I didn't make that big mistake and say good morning when it's actually the afternoon. Whatever will I do if I did that? I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Probably nothing. Because I'm not restarting this. Okay. So I think I'm going to start off here going over some artwork while people join. This first one is one I did with my mother yesterday. It's called Volcano. You know, obviously, you see a volcano erupting, and there's lava on the ground, and there's an alien UFO on the side. And, you know, it's a rendition of a drawing I do pretty frequently here. You know, and somebody says, what does it represent? What does this represent? Well, I guess it could be, you know, obviously somebody, you know, you get to know, and, you know, obviously you're internalizing traumas and you kind of just unload all your traumas on somebody. You erupt on somebody. I don't really know what this means. But, you know, obviously it could mean, you know, obviously somebody might unintentionally upset you and you could unload all your traumas on them, you know? All your traumas and frustrations. The next one. I say to Dr. Natural, I'm a disabled adult child at 38 years old, not working. He asks me, would you ever be willing to lose your DAC child status and get a job? I say not for a trash part-time job for minimum wage, but yes for a good job or a dream job. He's thinking to himself, he's so done, he'll probably collect disability for the remainder of his life. You know? It's probably what he's thinking. Then we got this one here. I say to my mother, I don't want to go to my pros program. It's like the short bus. Everybody there is so low functioning. It frustrates, bores, and does not challenge me intellectually. My mother said the kids riding the short bus 5 years ago are further along than you now. If you want a life, you need to get a job, and this program can get you one. And this is my mother's green bunny. Otto Greenberg, who's a 40-year-old mental patient, he says, I hate my mental health recovery group. I am too smart for it. I am a genius. It's like the Dookie bus. Dr. Natural says, go to the group. You can find love, a life, a job. And Otto realizes Dr. Natural was right. I found love here. And Dr. Natural says to Otto, you found nobody sitting in your room. You got out and you found love. Found love. Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, somebody says you can become a paperboy, Andrew. Yeah, paperboy is a good career. I remember that video game. This one's called 6 Star. I feel like I'm dying. I've got the plague. Help me. I was yellow, now I'm green. This one, aim and hit the mark. Bullseye. Practice makes perfect. The more you practice something, the more you're able to pull the string and hit the mark. And last but not least, sick. Some people might assume, you know, this means I'm sick mentally. But no, this actually means I had a bad cold this week. But it's getting better now, which is good. All right, so I basically shared a bunch of artwork. Is anybody here? Where art thou, my impatience? Where art thou? Gordy says, you're going live while everyone is working. What do you expect? Everybody to be at your beck and call and not work? Maybe we got some Europeans in the house. I don't know. Or people from Australia. Yeah, I guess you're right. Gordy. What do I expect? I mean, at least the New Yorkers, it's 1 p.m. Where do I expect them to be? Do I expect them to be at my beck and call? Of course not. So something that obviously is, I've got a lot of external hard drives to back up my videos. And I'm out of space and I have no money and I can't afford it. I'm probably going to just charge an external hard drive. But I filled up my previous external hard drive, and I'm gonna get another one, and I basically don't want to lose my videos, but it's really getting hard to organize and save all these videos because I don't have the money to do it. And I know they say anything you want backed up, you should back up 3 times. And I'm lucky I have it backed up once or twice, Well, I guess if you consider YouTube and social media to be backed up, I guess it's backed up a few times, but I don't know. Somebody says, "Do you really want the 80th version of Mr. Peaky backed up? Who cares if you lose that video?" Yeah, I'm more concerned about the videos where I'm with, my art class friends or I'm with people. Those are the videos that are more meaningful to me. The videos where I'm with friends and family, and those videos obviously mean a lot more to me than my solo videos. I mean, some of my solo videos are really good performances and I don't want to lose them. But, the videos where I'm performing with people tend to mean a lot more to me than the videos where I'm just solitary going crazy in my apartment. For the obvious reasons. The Sauce says, "I'm a fellow disabled man-child who lives with his mother. Andrew, you were unique and highly sought after. A rare breed of people, Andrew. What can I say? Thank you, The Sauce. Thank you. Thank you." Woo! Somebody says, maybe you need to do less content, Andrew. It's really the signal to noise ratio here. You make a lot of videos. You make at least 6 videos a day. Maybe you should do 3 videos a day, Maybe you should do 3 videos a day. Gordy says, "I'm listening to the stream on my phone while working. Being a disabled adult child sounds pretty badass." No, it's not. Well, I mean, some people say maybe it is, but I mean, I guess the grass is always greener on the other side of the street. Obviously, working, you got no free time, but you got money to buy whatever you want. Being a man child at 38 years old, you got no money, but you got all the free time in the world to do whatever you want. The key here is to have money and to have free time. You see, Gordy, he has no free time, but he has all the money to buy whatever he wants. Me, I have tons of free time, but no money. The key is to have money and free time. And that's the key. The grass is always greener on the other side of the street. That's for sure. Rusty asks, "Have you ever thought about doing, practicing abstinence? Not looking at spicy content, and I don't know. What other fun do I have besides looking at spicy content? You know, like that's really the only fun I have throughout my day. You know, I mean, I would rather a real life girlfriend, obviously. Uh, Crow says, "Start working out. That always gets me motivated to be productive and responsible." Yeah, I always work out. I work out every day. I just worked out at the gym this morning, as a matter of fact. I did an hour on the treadmill. I ran for a little bit. I did work out. I work out literally every single day, Crow. So I work out literally every single day. Somebody says, "You're the GOAT." You know, some people say, are you the greatest of all time, Andrew, or are you the scapegoat of your family? The person your family blames all the problems on. The person your family blames everything on. Are you the greatest of all time, or are you the scapegoat? I don't know. You decide. I think I'm the greatest of all time, but some say, no, Andrew, you're the scapegoat. All kidding aside, you're the scapegoat. Like, that's just the black sheep of the family. Yes, yes. Crow asks, who are your favorite musical artists? I don't know. I've gone over this many times. I don't know. I mean, I like the Beach Boys, Pink Floyd, Nirvana, and so on. That was some good coffee. Now I'm going to crack open a nice seltzer. It's blood orange. Here we go. Woo-hoo! Oh yeah. You hear that? You hear the fizzling? No, I'm gonna pour it in the cup. That's the sexiest sound you've ever heard. All right. So how art thou, guys? Well, I mean, some other musical artists I like currently. I mean, I guess I like some modern pop. Some people would be said you should be ashamed to admit it, because I'm a 38-year-old man. But I kind of like Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo. I like Taylor Swift. I don't know. So it's like, yeah. Don't admit to that. Say you like Metallica. Say you like The Clash. Say you like Limp Bizkit and Eminem. Don't admit to liking these teeny bopper girls. So he says, have you ever heard of Clowncore? Not really. I've never heard of that, Gordy. I ain't heard of that. So I drink too much coffee. But what other pleasure do I have in my damn life? What other pleasure do I have in my damn life? I drink too much coffee, but I got no other pleasure. I got no other pleasure, you know? Yeah, I got to get into metal music. I got to get into masculine music. Don't admit to liking these teeny bopper girls. You know, people will think you're an effeminate man. Then they'll think you're into men, which I'm not. I'm into ladies. I mean, like there are some pretty cool songs, like like Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter's a pretty good song, and I like Good for You by Olivia Rodrigo. And like, yeah, don't admit to liking this, Andrew. Don't admit to liking this. Maybe you should turn off Z100 and listen to the classic rock station. So he says Sabrina Carpenter is pretty dope, though, Andrew. Yeah, I definitely rock out. I mean, some of her songs are flops, but some of them are good. Espresso, especially, is pretty good. Yeah, that's a good one. Somebody says, just you sound very insecure in your masculinity. Just listen to what you like, less stress. No, I do listen to what I like. I'm not going to lie. If that song comes on, I do indeed listen to it. However, I might change the station if I have a friend in my car. Somebody says, Man Child is also a banger. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too. That's a good one, too, yeah. How old is Sabrina Carpenter? Somebody says, isn't Sabrina Carpenter a child? I think she's 24 years old. Let's check out how old Sabrina Carpenter is. Google, how old is Sabrina Carpenter? 26 years old. She's not that young. I mean, she's young, but that's old. I mean, that's not too young, you know? They say half your age plus 7 is the rule for if you can date them. I don't know who made that rule up, but somebody made that up. So let's type 38 divided by 2 plus 7, 26, and she's 26. So that's an appropriate person for me to date. I mean, but then again, she's lived a lavish lifestyle since she was 18 years old. I'm a DAC child. I probably need somebody who's suffered for many years, but it is teeny bopper kids music. It is teeny bopper kids music. So he says, I think I heard Tower Social on the radio the other day. Did you get paid for that? I don't think I did. Hey, whoever, he says, hi, Andrew in chat. How you doing? I'm not going to call you by your name because I should really get a haircut. I'm too lazy to get one, though. Because I don't want to get like the 1960s psychedelic hippie hair. I don't want to get the 1960s psychedelic hippie hair. So he says, your hair looks good, bro. Keep it going. So he says, I bet the bad bitches are all over you. Yeah, the mean bitches, the bad bitches, they like me. So he says, I think you're better when you're rocking. What is the Joel Goldberg? I don't know what that means. I guess that's the buzzed head, right? Any ideas of what I could draw today in art class? I don't really have any major ideas, but I could always do my 4 panels. They're always fun. So he says, grow out an afro. I guess I could. All right. All right. Anybody got any questions or anything? Somebody says, you rub your hair a lot, and it gets all frizzy. I'm afraid you're going to rub it all out. Yeah, that's a fair point. You don't want to lose your hair. Tage wants to know, do you remember the tallest man you ever saw? I don't know if this is the tallest man I ever saw, but when I worked at Wallbaum's, a supermarket, I guess it would be, I don't know, around 2006 or maybe 2005. I worked as a cashier, and this guy, he must have been a basketball player because he was thin, but he was massively tall. He came on my line and he bought stuff, and he was a giant. I don't know if he was over 7 foot or what his height was, but this guy was gigantic. And I remember, after this guy left, one of my other cashiers says to me, wow, that was a tall guy. I said to her, yeah, no, he was really tall. I think he was nice, but he was just really tall. Somebody says I worked there for a year or maybe even 2 years. I don't remember how long exactly. Somebody says a lot of experience is there for only 2 weeks. Imagine what could have been if you had stayed. I guess you're right. You have somebody says you'd own 2 houses. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'd be promoted. "666 says, good afternoon, Andrew. What's for lunch? I had, I'll show you what I had for lunch. I had turkey and Munster cheese with mustard. Somebody says, cut up hot dogs. Nice. Somebody says, oh, nice. Meat sandwiches. Somebody says, do you like salami? Yeah, I like salami. Salami's good. Salami is good. I also eat a lot of peanut butter. I was eating tuna fish, but I had like a tuna fish can that grossed me out the other day. So I'm like, I'm gonna take a break on tuna fish. I took a bite of it. I wanted to vomit like this, like. So I was eating tuna fish pretty often though. Then I had a disgusting can, and I kind of like, all right, enough of the tuna fish, So eventually you get something that grosses you out, and I'm just really. And my mother was making me pierogies for lunch and chicken nuggets, but that also grosses me out because she made it too much. So you got to do things in moderation. Giant Big Letter says, I love tuna so much. Yeah, tuna's good, but I had like a disgusting can. And I got pretty grossed out. So he says, moderation is key. Moderation is definitely the key here. So he says, I'm surprised you know how to open a can. I know how to open a can, Mippets. I know how to open a can. All right. I think I'm going to get going here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate. So he says, how long? No, I've. So Rusty says do an hour. I mean, I could, but I got nothing better to do. But I've kind of run out of material. I don't really have a whole lot much more else to talk about unless you start firing away questions. Unless you start rapid firing. So he says, talk to us about your toes. All right. I had that runner's toe from a few months ago. It's gotten better. Somebody says they want to see the toe. We haven't seen the toe in a while. I'll show you it. I'll show you it, Rusty. Check it out. It's nice and back to normal. I'm not even worried about it anymore. Somebody says, "Wow!" Somebody's doing a vomiting animation. It's toe time. Yeah, my toe is back to normal. They say, I'm surprised the bruised and fungus is gone. Yeah. I think it was the pair of shoes I was wearing. Well, that's good. Sometimes good things happen. Like sometimes things heal and get better. And my toe healed and got better. Somebody says, you could even lose your toe if you don't take care of stuff like that. Yeah. It's back to normal. It's back to the appropriate color. That's always a good sign. All right. So, yeah, I definitely, the Mippet says, you look sharp, like a guy at the Texas Roadhouse with more than 1,000 to his name. Hey, what are you going to do? I don't have money for the millionaires or billionaires clothes, but I appreciate it. I'm dressing as nice as I possibly can on my budget. Some people say I got a nice polo shirt and sweater game, so I try to dress nice. I mean, I try to dress the best I possibly can. Somebody says, if you were a millionaire or a billionaire, what kind of clothing would you wear? I would definitely buy probably, expensive, Polo Ralph Lauren polo shirts and, expensive sweaters. I'd probably buy, things that cost money. Unfortunately, I got to stick with the lesser known brands at the moment because I don't have the money for the expensive brands. But what are you gonna do? That's just what I gotta deal with at the moment. The clothes that are within my budget. Somebody wants to know who was my first celebrity crush. I liked a lot of the wrestling, I guess, women because I watched a lot of wrestling. I'm trying to think that what women on TV were I into? Was I into? I don't know. I don't think I really had like a crush. Like I know my brother had a friend who was like really into Britney Spears, and that wasn't really me necessarily, but I mean, there were like women on wrestling that I found attractive, but I wasn't really like obsessed with them, like madly in love with them. So that's kind of like with Sabrina Carpenter. I guess. I guess so. So this is the wrestling women. That's why I'm proud of you, Andrew. Thank you, the sauce. Thank you. Well, that's what I watched. That's what I watched. So he says, or Lady Gaga. Some people say Lady Gaga. I mean, is Lady Gaga very, very attractive? I mean, I know some people say, in comparison to Margot Robbie, who also played Harley Quinn, isn't Margot Robbie known for being a lot much more, pretty? I mean, I like Lady Gaga. I like her music. I like her as an artist. But I mean, I'm not criticizing Lady Gaga necessarily, because I'm a fan of some of her songs, and it doesn't. But I know there's some people that definitely look like, models in comparison, like somebody says like I wouldn't kick her out of bed, somebody says, but I think there's definitely women that are a lot much more attractive than Lady Gaga, though she does create, you know, uh, decent to very good pop songs. Margot Robbie, I think definitely appearance wise, looks, or at least did. I don't know how she looks now. Let's see if I can find a photo of her recently, but yeah. So that's something to keep in mind. So he says, yeah, Liv Morgan's pretty for a wrestling lady, but Liv Morgan, I mean, let's put it this way. If Lady Gaga worked at the supermarket or Liv Morgan worked at the supermarket, I'd be like, oh, wow, I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to chat with them. I'm going to try to date them. But if they're going for like the hottest woman on planet Earth, like the sexiest woman alive today, I think they would fall short in that category. Like I think if you worked with Lady Gaga at a supermarket or Liv Morgan at a supermarket, you'd be like, oh, these are hot ladies, these are attractive ladies. But also, I wouldn't say they're like completely flawless looking. Which is fine. Not everybody looks immaculately perfect, and that's okay. And in fact, like these celebrities and pop stars and movie stars that do look immaculately perfect, they create an unrealistic and unattainable image for these ordinary looking ladies, and men. If you see somebody who looks picture perfect, picturesque perfect, people think, oh, I got to look that beautifully perfect. So it's not really good. It's not really a good message to send. Be proud of your flaws. Be proud of your imperfections. It's good we have celebrities that have flaws and imperfections. If everybody looked like a Barbie doll or a model, everybody would kind of, feel like, oh, I'm inadequate, I'm self-conscious, So it's good that people don't look 100% perfect. So he says, Lady Gaga would go for you, Andrew. We got Agent Whiskey in the house. Agent Whiskey says, hey, Andrew, how you doing? How you doing, Agent Whiskey? I think ultimately at the end of the day, people like love. It doesn't matter how hot the lady is. It doesn't matter if she looks like a model and the sexiest woman on planet Earth. At the end of the day, people want somebody who can understand them and empathize with them and love them. And I mean, like, if you get the sexiest woman ever and she's a sociopathic narcissist, who is just obsessed with how beautiful she is, and I mean, you're not going to really like dating her too much. She might be the sexiest woman ever, but she'll be like, carry my bags, buy me everything. You'd be like, I'd rather date a woman who's less perfect looking, but is a little bit nicer. Somebody says, you would, Andrew. Somebody says, not everybody was born with natural good looks like Tom Cruise or Luigi Maginoni. Hey, don't compare me to Luigi Maginoni. He's a nefarious murderer. I do like the Tom Cruise comparison, though. I'm going to be a success story, not locked in prison till I'm an old man. So he says, I'd carry Lady Gaga's bags, not going to lie. That's a cool thing, Tate. I mean, if she invited me over her mansion and said, "Oh, you want to go in the pool?" I'd hop in the pool. We could have her butler barbecue for us. It would certainly beat hanging out with men at the Jerusalem Avenue pool in Levittown. If she's like, "Oh, come over to my mansion. Let's go in my pool. It's a heated." I'd say absolutely. I'll be right over. It beats going to Jerusalem Avenue in Levittown with men at like 9 p.m. and drinking I didn't drink, but they drank Long Island iced teas at the bar. It's like, all right, So he says, Lady Gaga has shirtless buff guys to carry her bags for her. She's loaded. Yeah, no, I know. She's got a lot of money. I would definitely love to hop in her pool, have her butler barbecue, like, do some barbecue, and, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Maybe get a hard seltzer. She doesn't even have to be there, I would just hang out in her pool and have her butler barbecue for me, and that'd be fun. So he says the Gaga barbecue, yeah. But I mean, I'm sure she has got a heated pool, or the weather's cooling down. Somebody says the pools get boring though. I mean, the first few times you hop in the pool, it's fun, it's nice. But like the pool we have out back, you do it like the first few weeks of summer, then you get bored with it. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to hang out. That's one of my dreams in life, to hang out in a really like fancy pool, eating some barbecue. Hey, I'd probably have a hard seltzer, some alcohol, but not too much. Not too much. That's all I really need. That's all I need to set. Just hang out by a pool. A little bit of alcohol, some good barbecue food, and I'll be pretty happy. I'm a simple guy. I like the simple things in life. And a sexy woman there too, and a sexy lady there too. So it sounds like a good time. That would be pretty fun. Somebody says, do you like clubbing? I've never really done it. I'm kind of like uncomfortable in my own skin. I don't really like dancing. So I don't really like, big environments where everybody's like, I don't think I like clubbing too much. Somebody says, if you want those things like a gigantic pool and a butler who barbecues for you, you got to work hard each day to get there. Somebody says, I think Andrew would like clubbing. He'd like to club seals in the Antarctic. Maybe you're right, Rusty. Maybe you're right. Maybe it says Cold Stone Creamery is the only club he goes to. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. They got good ice cream there, that's for sure. Hey, you got to stop. You got to. It's all relative. It's all relative, and to me, these millionaires and billionaires who have these gigantic pools and jacuzzi tubs and barbecue pits, they're living the dream. But to like these people who are near homeless in New York City and at mental health groups, I'm living the dream. I got like a heated saltwater pool in my backyard, even though it's not that gigantic. I don't really work. So some people might be envious of me. Some people might be like, "Oh, Andrew's living the life. Andrew's living the life." I guess I'm like, "No, I'm not." But maybe some people might think I am. It's all relative. So be appreciative of what you got. It could always be worse. Somebody says, what other ice cream joints do you go to, Andrew? I like Carvel. Carvel's good. There's also this place by All American Burger called Marshall's. That's pretty good. Carvel and Marshall's do a really good soft serve ice cream. Agent Whiskey asks, why don't you reply to any of the comments? How are you feeling today? You seem energetic. Last time you were a bit tired. I had like a little bit of coffee before this live stream, so I'm pretty caffeinated. Somebody wants to talk about Marvel, the Marvel movies, the superhero movies. Yeah, I think they're coming out with Spider-Man Brand New Day with Tom Holland. I'm excited to see that. I like the Spider-Man movies. I know they're coming out with Avengers Doomsday, where Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Doctor Doom. I'll probably check that out too. Those are the big ones that I'm focused on at the moment. Yeah, no, I read a report. I read a report. I mean, I know nobody really cares about Marvel, or maybe some people do. I read a report that they got the distribution rights to the Incredible Hulk back. But then I read a report that Universal owns the distribution rights to the Incredible Hulk indefinitely. I was hoping for an Incredible Hulk movie, but apparently that's not going to happen. I think Captain America Brand New Day was as close to an Incredible Hulk movie that you're going to get. And that wasn't really a great movie, but they got Samuel Stearns, the leader. They had Thunderbolt Ross turning into Red Hulk. So that was, Captain America Brand New Day was kind of a sequel to the Edward Norton Hulk movie, even though it wasn't a sequel to the Edward Norton Hulk movie. They just can't do it because Disney has to coexist and work with Universal and their direct competitors. That's like asking Coca-Cola and Pepsi to collaborate on a soda. They just won't do that. They just won't work together. Somebody says, was Hulk your favorite superhero? I don't know. I mean, I dressed as Batman as a child. I liked Spider-Man. There's a lot of cool ones. Robert Downey Jr. did a great job as Iron Man. Yeah, unfortunately, they can't. I mean, they can use the character, but they can't make Hulk movies because, if they do make a Hulk-centric movie, Universal has to distribute it, and that's a big problem because that's their direct competitor. So he's kind of caught in legal limbo, the character, but they can use him in other movies. So it's kind of a really weird situation. Somebody says, have you ever heard of Snowflame? Do you watch animes? I watched Death Note and Code Geass. I watched Sailor Moon. I watched Dragon Ball Z. I watched a bunch of animes. Batman is not owned by Stan Lee. Batman is not a Marvel comic. Batman is DC. Spider-Man is Marvel though. We got Boo Earns in the house. He's a Solar Man. So this is Pokemon, Digimon. Yeah, Pokemon was a good anime. Yeah, that was a good one with Ash Ketchum. I guess is the one you're referring to from the '90s, or no? Was it the '90s or 2000s? I guess the 2000s, late '90s. I certainly watched that. They made the movie with Mew versus Mewtwo, where Ash gets turned to stone and Pikachu's like Pikachu or something like that. I remember that. That was what I watched that in middle school, I believe. But fresh new concepts are pretty cool too. I mean, obviously that they do a lot of concepts like Batman and Spider-Man and Pokemon over and over again, and it's always good because they're pretty popular and they got a proven track record. And when something has a proven track record of making money, it's easy to bank on it because it has a proven track record of being a money-making institution. But I like new concepts where people are taking artistic risks and creating a new brand, a new innovative brand. Obviously, concepts that have a proven track record of making money are safe bets. No, everybody's. You got to prove. The new concept will make money, and then once you prove that, they'll be making these sequels and prequels and to the end of time. So he says, why don't you style your hair? No, I'm about ready to get a haircut. Maybe I should get one today, but I don't feel like going over to the barber. I really could use a haircut. I'm starting to look like a 60s hippie. Yeah, I always see like big clickbait saying, "Oh, Sony's getting ready to sell Spider-Man back to Disney or Marvel," and that's just not happening because it's one of their biggest intellectual properties. They're just not going to be selling that. But everybody's like, "Oh, this is really exciting. This is really thrilling. They're going to sell it," and it's like, no, they're not. I mean, they're gonna work together and make money together, but they're not going to be selling it. Agent Whiskey says, "You look good, Andrew." People like the clickbait. I think. Oh no! What happened to my screen? Oh no! Oh no! Oh, here it goes. It went back on. My screen went dark for a second. I clicked. I kicked something on the floor, and my screen went black. I guess it has to do with my computer monitor. I'm like, oh no! I can't see the comments, and I can't even see that I'm live on YouTube anymore. Yeah, no, and some people are really like bad with the clickbait. Like I saw a clickbait article that says Jeff Hardy died, and I'm like, ooh. I don't think he didn't really die, but obviously everybody goes to the clickbait website and they're like, oh, these are just like dirt sheets that try to get you clicking on their website. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a low way to get clicks on your website. Don't make up that somebody passed away. So he says, you can become a master clickbaiter and get mad ad revenue. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, Rusty. Hell yeah, hell yeah. I gotta think of like saucy news stories. Who's somebody I could say? Well, I don't want to say anybody passed away, but I gotta think of a news story that piques people's interest. I gotta have my website full of ads and spyware. Mippet says, I think Otto Greenberg should be a movie. How much would you sell the rights for? I agree with you. I want my Green Bunny, Otto Greenberg cartoons to be a movie. Let's put it this way. I'm pretty desperate for money at the moment. I'm kind of like Marvel before Disney bought them. So I don't want to undersell my artwork, but because I realize there's worth there. I realize there's value there. I'm very proud of it. It's like my life's work. But also, I'm pretty desperate to get money discovered. So I'll accept a pretty low ball offer. So I think something fair. Like I literally have less than $1,000 to my name, and I don't want to get screwed over royally by shrewd major motion picture companies and art galleries and stuff who realize the worth of it and they just screw me out of money. But also, I am looking to make money because I could really use the money. Look, I don't think Marvel realized how valuable their characters were until it was too late. Sometimes it's hard to come up with 100 more ideas just as good once you sell it. Sometimes if it's your life story or something you worked really hard on, you don't want to get rid of your best idea. Shane says, I got a nickel to my name. Yeah, Shane. I'm not obsessed with money, man. But also, I want like somebody to be fair, But obviously, business is cutthroat, especially the movie industry and the art industry. It's very cutthroat. People are looking to screw you. People are looking to, own your work, own your characters, and that's just what it is. It's a cutthroat industry, usually, typically. So right now, I'm a starving, struggling artist. But hopefully someday I can make money. Hopefully I'm not like Stan Lee, though. Hopefully I get to play in the movies. Hopefully I get to play myself. Or I get to play Otto Greenberg. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later before I'm too old, to play the character. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna hit the bricks here. I'm gonna peace out. Any last questions before I get going, or does that about cover it? I guess that about. I guess that about. Yeah, Shane says, "I hope you have a great day, twin." Thank you, Shane. So he says, "Did you drink your beverage?" Yes, I drank. I drank all of my blood orange. Mippet says, "This covers most of the questions I had here today." All right, guys. Adios, amigos and amigas. Peace out. I'll talk to you all again soon.